Zeppelin was. He didn't know. And he said, look, I'm not into classic rock. And the older guys who were on the show said, no, that's, you're ignorant. And it's not that, okay, if you don't like classic rock, that's fine. But it's like not knowing who Beethoven is.
Correct.
Or not knowing who, just because you don't like classical music. Or not knowing who Scott Joplin is just because you don't like ragtime. These are the kings. You have to know that.
Right.
And that's just, it's history. It's history.
I know a guy that didn't know who John Lennon was.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he wasn't young either. He was, 30-some when he didn't know who he was.
It just wasn't his thing.
But then there was some famous left-handed bowler. I can't remember his name. He was like, you know who he is? I was like, no. He goes, he's a famous left-handed bowler.
Pete Weber.
I don't think it was Pete Weber.
Okay.
It was a left-handed guy, though.
Okay.
But
bowling was his thing, and it wasn't yours. Okay.
Correct.
I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, it just depends on what's your thing. And it's the same with these popularity contests. There was a company, I'm not going to name them, but they won 2 years in a row. St. Louis Business Journal, best small business to work for. And they won because they just took everybody who worked for them and they filled out a questionnaire for them and mailed it in to the St. Louis Business Journal. None of these people knew their name was being used.
Correct.
They had one person who that was her main job with the company. Make sure we're called best small business to work for in St. Louis. And they actually won 3 years in a row, but they said, we can't do it 3 years in a row. 2 years is enough, so we're not going to do you. But that's how they just manipulate it because, wow, here's a company that everybody who works with them just gave them a glowing review. See, here's a full-page letter from all of them.
So they can pull in business like that.
Yeah. It was a lie. It was just a lie. And that's how that stuff is.
Right.
And
I wasn't the best wedding provider. I had never done a wedding.
What do you think?
But then after that, I got a bunch of them.
What do you think?
I started getting big wedding shows.
According to Yelp, I think it was Yelp, what do you think the best restaurant is in Williamsport, Pennsylvania? It's some hole-in-the-wall barbecue place, okay, that was not bad. It was, in fact, it was pretty good. Okay, it wasn't Sugar Fire. It was pretty doggone good, but it was the best restaurant according to Yelp. In other words, more people had voted for it. In other words, somebody knew more about IT than the other guy.
Right.
That's what that means.
It could have easily been that.
I mean, I can't tell you
easily.
And that's what a lot of people do. You go into a strange town and okay, let's look on Yelp. Let's look on someplace and see what.
Even the owners could get on there and do that. They don't even need to hire anybody.
If the owner's savvy enough,
just read the help files before you start, like I did.
Exactly.
That was it. That's all I did. I knew nothing. In fact, I hated Facebook and everybody that was on it before I got on it.
But then you found out how you make a buck at it, and it turned into something that was just okay.
Right. Because I did not get on it with a personal. Well, I got on it with a personal site just so I could attach my business site to that personal site. That's kind of the way that works.
Correct.
But I didn't really have a personal site to have a personal site. I did it just to have the business one so I could get the likes and not the friends, It's not the same. Your personal page, you're out there looking for friends. But on a business page, you're looking for likes, which I see a lot of businesses out there on people I may know wanting you to be their friend, and they've just fucked up from the start because you can't change that now. And you have to start a whole new profile. If you've made your business a regular person, you really fucked up.
Yeah,
because you're just gonna get friends, and you're not gonna get likes,
and likes are what you're looking for.
Correct.
Yep. It's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
But you're back in town, man.
Yes, I am.
I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to send you I'm going to send it to your emails. You can send it to your folks. It'll be on Facebook. It'll be on Twitter. It'll be on SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Spreaker. It'll be on all those formats and then some, because I know I always forget some. Twitter. It's on all that. What else do you want the folks out there who thought, where the hell was Daniel Daugherty all this time? What else you want them to know about where you are and how you're back? Closer to that mic, please.
As far as my family goes, meeting them has been great. But I wasn't known throughout the family until I have a cousin named Jackie Starck that was on 23andMe,
Mm-hmm.
and she all of a sudden checked her 23andMe after a couple of months of not checking it, and instead of my sister and my brother being her top two people, all of a sudden this guy named D. Daugherty was her top person, and she had never heard of me.
Top person? What do you mean by top person?
I was her top match percentage-wise in
for DNA.
DNA,
okay,
correct, at 9%. My sister was only 8. My brother was 8.5, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was above them. So all of a sudden, I pop up to the number one person on her list, and she looks at it and it's like, "Who in the hell is D. Daugherty?" And I got a friend request from her because I had been kept a secret up until this time by my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So
they kind of knew you.
They were still freaked out. Okay,
Yeah.
They didn't want the whole small town, I guess, to know or whatever. And they're all freaked out, and they're not going to really tell anybody. But there's this Jay Starck, who's just a second cousin. She finds out, and because I'm her top person, and she just sent me a friend request, and I sent her a message, say, "Do you know who I am?" And her response was, "You're the top person on my 23andMe test."
How could a second cousin be a top person on a DNA test?
Because the other top two people were my brother and sister, who I was just a little bit higher than.
Okay.
Okay.
What made you a little bit higher than them?
Just happened to be like that.
Okay.
Just comes out like that.
Okay. So
they were all close.
Okay. So there's like a window, plus or minus so much.
Correct.
I see. Okay.
Because
so 9%, 8% could be the same.
Correct.
Okay. Got it.
Can be the same relative.
Right. Got it.
Level of relative. Well, then the next night I get a friend request from a girl named Melissa Miller. And I checked her out, and I saw that she was a friend of Jackie Starck's.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent her the same message. "Do you know who I am?" She said, "Well, I heard you're my cousin, but I have no idea how." So I started the story from the beginning, my adoption from the beginning again, and told her. Well, the next night it was her mom. And the next night, one of my first cousins. Well, now the whole family knows. And I've made quite a few friends and bonded with several of them, and they're all my people.
So, and this is personal. My kids gave me a 23andMe gift last year for my birthday. I haven't done anything with it. And not because I don't want to, just because it's not my thing. I've just not gotten around to doing it yet. Would you recommend me to do it? You think I should do it?
You're not adopted. Okay.
I'm not.
And so the chances of something surprising happening to you, as they did with my sister and brothers, are relatively low. Maybe your dad fooled around and you got an extra brother or something like that. The big surprise with my family was that I was a product of their mother and not their father, because as soon as you find out you have a half sibling, the first thing you think is, "Oh, Dad went out and fucked somebody."
Sure.
Well, this wasn't the case. This was what I knew all along. I kind of had a feeling it was a teenage pregnancy because it was 1961, and that's what you did in 1961.
Right.
Is they went and sent you away.
It had the kid. Kid went up for adoption, and then
Correct.
you came back and lived your life.
Correct. And that's exactly what happened here. But as far as you doing it, when you're, I tell you what, it's a whole different story when you're adopted, dude.
Oh, sure, I bet, because you have no idea what you're going to see,
but you're going to see something,
right?
It's not like you're going to see nothing,
right? It's going to be something you haven't the slightest idea as to what that's going to be.
Exactly.
The biggest thing I may find out is that
your
how much Tunisian I am.
Correct, and your hair. I mean, it tells you exactly what that is. I'm like 45% German and Irish, and then just a mix of everything else. Just a mix.
Yeah, and I've never understood how that works. Okay, I'm 45% German, you said. Okay. What does that mean? I mean, because everybody from Germany couldn't have always been from Germany, because Europe is like states. What if somebody who's German had a relative who was from Poland,
right,
who had relatives who were from Sweden, who had relatives who were from fill in the blank. Then they can't be all German, right?
You really got to be into it to understand all of that too. Like my sister is into it. Because she's on Ancestry.com and a couple of the other ones trying to fill out a family tree. I myself, I'm not into it.
Right.
I've never even thought about my ancestry until here recently.
Right.
Because I've never had one.
But your reason for doing it is because you were adopted.
Health reasons and
because you mentioned with your son, your son says, "Hey, what are the things I need to look for health wise?" And you said, "I haven't the slightest idea."
Right.
But you did this to perhaps get him some answers.
Correct. And but yeah, that was really the only reason that I did it, and then it was $10.
Yeah. So if you had never got that coupon, you'd have probably not done it.
No, I wouldn't have. I can guarantee you that.
Lord knows, where would you be? You might be still living in beautiful Butte, Montana.
Absolutely.
Working for FedEx, getting ready for your kidneys to fail.
Right. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. To tell you the truth, I never really thought about it like that, but you're absolutely correct. That is what would have happened had I, not been such a cheap ass.
Well, you found the coupon though,
right?
And I'm a big believer in whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and whether you do this and you go down that road, you go down this road, and I never graduated from college, okay, and many people said, "Damn it, why? If you'd have gone to college." Look where you could have gone. Look what you could have achieved. Look where what you could be. And my answer to that is, had I gone to college, I'd have never met my wife and had my family. I don't care how much money I have, because I wouldn't have that. So you can never look back and play Monday morning quarterback like that.
Never, because, and I do that a lot here lately. But I think about all of the bullshit, bad stuff that I had to go through to put myself in that Walgreens that day in Butte, Montana. Because back home, they weren't $20 off. I even asked.
Okay. So if you still lived here, it wouldn't have been $20 off and you would have never got it.
Correct. All of the bad things that happened that took me to Butte, Montana had to happen to me in order for all this good stuff to happen. That just freaks me out.
Yeah.
And that's a good lesson in life to teach people that are going through some hard times. Sometimes you have to go through this for that to happen.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. I mean, I'm always because everybody gets bummed out, but you have peaks and valleys. You have the ebb and flow. And I'm always a big fan of if things are bad, be patient because they will get better. If things are good, ride the wave because they will get worse.
Right.
And that's life, man.
Kind of waiting for that to happen too. All the good stuff that's been happening.
It's happening now though.
Right. I went out and bought a couple lottery tickets just in case, I'm on the wave when my numbers come up.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? I'm on a roll. What is tonight? Today's Saturday.
Saturday the 10th.
We'll find out tonight.
What's the jackpot?
I have no idea. I just went in here. I was like, man, I'm on a roll. Give me 10 in Powerball.
By the way, I've been wanting to say this, but I've never had an opportunity to. The shirt you're wearing, did you wear that shirt on purpose?
Yes, I did.
I thought you might have.
Yes, I did.
This is radio, so nobody can see it. Dan has on a AJAX Tires, which is a now defunct company in St. Clair, I think.
Yeah, it was in St. Clair.
And an old sponsor on the James Strong Show. And JAK was his three kids.
Okay.
Those were the kids' first name. That's where he got that from.
Because I went over there with you that one day, hoping to get in with him and maybe barter some advertising for some tires.
That's right. You needed tires, and you were going to were you advertising for tires, and I think he passed on it.
Yeah, I actually got the tires from a guy I did a wedding for.
Okay,
I did the wedding for free for tires.
I forget the guy's name. A good man, veteran, and he was making a go of it. It was a whole lot of work for a little bit of money.
Probably, yeah.
It wasn't that he wasn't making money. It's just that That's the way a lot of businesses are.
I didn't realize that he was just in